your smiles. I know what it takes to fool this town. I'll do it till the sun goes down and all through the night time. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what you wanna hear. Keep my sunglasses on while I shed a tear. It's never
So Stella has given us a lot of knowledge in property investment, such as using the en-bloc calculator, which I myself feel that as a beginner is really easy to use and easy to follow.
I put my armor on, I'll show you that I'm unstoppable. I'm a Persia with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries today.
I really benefited a lot from your experience in this property industry, and really grateful for your selfless contribution.
I appreciate what Stella and Daniel has shared with us. Okay, they are very open and straightforward, nothing to hide.
She's the only one giving us such a unique opportunity to actually value properties. And for me, such a young chap, 21 years old, I'm able to accurately value these properties using the calculator.
Chance upon Instagram, and then I found that Stella is a good mentor to learn about en-bloc, and this is how I get to know Stella.
It's eye-opening. I think Stella and Daniel is very knowledgeable and really very willing to share, and very personal and relationship based. I think they make a good pair and really imparting their knowledge to us.
Giving us your very valuable and expert insights and sharing your very seasoned experiences in the industry. I think it's really, really valuable.
Thanks Stella and Daniel for choosing to be very compassionate humans, both in the way you treat, how you reorganize your properties, and the way you look at people. I think that sincerity comes across, and I think the world could do more of this.
Every single game, I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. I put my armor on, I'll show you that I am. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Persia with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today.
If you're looking for a mentor in your life, you want to find someone that have actually done the job and walked the talk. So Stella and Daniel are the person that you may be looking for. They are the person that you can trust and walk along the journey with. And if you happen to bump into a program that they are willing to mentor you, do take it up, because it's an opportunity that might just change your life. That's just once in your lifetime.
I think most of all, I think I benefited from Stella and Daniel's advice on what should I look out for in the next property. I must say that they are the one that pushes me to do things, because I tend to didn't want to make the decision, and I tend to take my time as well. So I think just this weekend, I'm in the midst of purchasing one, which they are pushing me every day in the group chat to get me to do certain things. Yeah, so I must say that, yeah, I benefited from a lot from them.
Having learned of this PWL, I think I will actually increase my wealth for myself and also my customers.
I am part of a strong community which who supports one another, and I have the backup of the decades of experience that Stella and Daniel has accumulated. So this really puts us in good stead to achieve our long-term investing goals in the areas of real estate, and also help us in our personal development journey.
And kudos to them for sharing their knowledge with us, and also for their humility and their willingness to actually build a community around doing this together in terms of identification of properties and growing each other's wealth.
Able to explain from a very layman terms, which helps a lot in coming to this course. If you go for someone which is very professional, some of the lingo you do not understand. At least they come from a very layman term. They explain to you, and then you can understand clearly.
I'm glad that I have you two to hold my hands in my property investing journey, and I know that I have the right mentor to guide me along.
Hello everyone, happy Friday. It's Friday evening and it's it's the weekend. And before I begin, I really like to acknowledge each and every one of you for being here. I mean, this is the weekend. You could be doing something else with your family, with your friends. So this is like so important for me in that sense, that because I know time is such an important resource. Do you agree? That time is an important resource. So this is not something I take lightly. So I'll do all in my power to make it well worth your time, all right? Okay, so this is going to take you about 90 minutes, thereabout, unless there's Q&A, we may stretch it to about 120 minutes. Before I begin, may I have you to go into the chat and say hi, so that I know you're hearing me well, the mic is working, and you can hear throughout the session. All right, is it okay? So that you won't be missing anything. Okay, go ahead and say hi so that I can see you as well. And if you're not seeing me, also let me know you're not seeing me. Yeah, I appear. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, Saifu. Okay, so what's this session all about? How many of you really took time off your busy schedule? If you're one of those, you want to be doing two things here this evening with me, all right? Okay, so number one, I'd like you all to commit. Why? Because I want to make sure that this is an event that when you look back a year from now, months from now, and you're going to say, hey, this is that pivotal moment of my life that just changes how I look at real estate investing, how I invest in real estate, and how I change my portfolio. All right? So you're going to commit. And number two, you want to participate. So it's not me talking only. You want to ask questions. You want to comment in the chat. So most importantly, remove all the distraction out of your way. So turn off your phone, your Netflix, things that will distract you from your 90 minutes of your time. So in this workshop, you're going to discover how to invest in undervalued property to create your infinite wealth without crazy money down. Who wants to create wealth? Give me a yes in the chat. Yeah, who wants to create wealth? Give me a yes in the chat. If you're not saying it, that means you don't want to wealth. Who wants to create wealth with real estate? Give me another yes. Double two. Yes, yes. Okay. So this is a proven formula that has helped myself, my clients, my students generated over hundreds of millions in dollars in profits without crazy capital. Yes. And I'm not coming from theory. I'm someone in the industry for close to 30 years. I've helped clients like Lian Beng, Guaco Land, MCL, Capital Land, UOL, Fires Organization generated billions of dollars in transactions, in profits. Yeah, this has been what I was doing over the past close to 30 years. So I want to have, before we begin the session, I just want you to look at real estate differently. Okay, is it okay? Let's look at real estate differently. Is it okay? Give me a yes. Okay, one yes will do. Okay, okay is good. Yeah. Why? Given that real estate is more challenging, it's already challenging, it's getting more challenging. Frequently in the market, people talk about sell one, buy two. Agree? Yeah, sell one, buy two. Nowadays, people talk about buying commercial, buying industrial, yeah, stuff like that. I want you to break out of the box. Yeah, not just look at it from that perspective. Let's look at real estate from the perspective of legacy building, from the perspective of a different way of investing. Is it okay? Yeah. So I'm going to show you some of the deals that I've done over the years in the market, which are not frequently talked about, which are how the rich get richer, which is how the not so get rich get richer as well. Is it okay? Yeah. So this has been a building that I sold in 2022. And as you can see, it is a small building in Bedok. Yeah. So what I'm going to show you in this webinar, in this workshop tonight, is to show you how all these developers, the buyers, the investors, increase valuation for the properties they buy and how to close that deal. Okay, so that even for a person like you and I, will be able to do it whether it comes to, what, 1 million or 32 million or 50 million market opportunity. So this was a cinema. Yeah, it's not a temple, it was a cinema. And this was what I sold in 2020. First thing first, let's have a sense of numbers, okay? Yeah, let's have a sense of numbers. How much do you think this was sold for? Okay, let's just give you a guess. Okay, say 25,000 square feet. How much would you think this building will be sold for if it's a 25,000 square feet building? It's okay if you're not in real estate, you have no sense of numbers, you can do any guesses because there's no penalty for any guesses. Go ahead and guess. How much do you think this building will be sold for? I have a 5.5 million. Anything else? Any other guesses? Any number is a good guess. You want to have a sense of numbers. 25 million. Cool. Anyone else? Any other numbers? So I'm going to show you all the ways we're looking at buildings. Okay, 10 million. Cool. Any more? Yeah, 40 million. Exactly. You are all right because it can be any numbers if you know how to restructure, reconfigure, and reposition this building. So, of course, as part of this deal, and doing this deal, everybody won, the seller, the buyer, and the consultant, myself, who facilitated the building sale. And let me disclose how much was it sold for. It was actually sold for 32.3 million. Yes, it is in Bedok. It was actually an old cinema. And at one point, it was used as a church. And it was used as a football club. Oops, I'm letting the cat out of the bag. So I want you to stretch your mind. What do you think you can build this for? What do you think you can build this for? If you were to take over, you're buying this building, what do you think you want to turn this around to be? Depends on the land size. Is a building about 20 over 1,000 square feet? Let's just, stretch your mind. What do you think it can be built for? Shopping mall? What else? Yeah. Come on, let's participate. Okay, number 2, participate. Right? Mixed development, cool, yes. What else? What can it be? Office, cool, yeah. What else? Anything else? Stretch your mind. Now become real way. Co-living, cool, yes, possible. What else? Stretch your mind. Training centers, cool, yes. You see, when you stretch your mind, you got more ideas on how you can, this is how, when you look at development, what can you build it for? Childcare center, cool, yes. Yeah, it can be anything. Entertainment complex, cool. You see, now you're stretching it more. Martial arts, I love it. Yeah, get it going. Yeah, because this is how you can actually potentially increase the value of a property. So this buyer was I want to share with you what happened to this. This buyer actually wanted a building for his own use, and in the end, he converted this to a showroom, come retail, come warehouse, come office, come auditorium, because it was an old cinema. So as you can see, it has high ceiling, it has auditorium space. So it can be a training center, exactly. Yeah, you all got it all the potential, all right. It can be a childcare center, it can be, so long as it falls within the zoning, it can be used in that in that zoning, and the authorities approve it. And what was very interesting was he was actually shown different type of industrial buildings by other agents. So when he came to me, I told him, let's expand it even more. Because what happened is in Singapore, if you buy industrial building, typically is 30 years or 60 years lease. Put in the chat, when you hear something, you want to write it down so that you can remember what I'm sharing. So when it comes to industrial, it's typically 30 to 60 years. So even 30 years to 60 years, for him, he was looking at opportunities like that with 30, 60 years at 80 million, at 100 million, at 50 million. So I actually showed him this building, which is on a 99 years leasehold commercial zoning. And it means that he has a longer lease, even though this building was about 30 years old. Yeah, it has a full lease. As compared to those 30, 60 years, he has shorter lease. And in fact, he got it for less than half the price as compared to other buildings. For the building that he could actually increase the valuation to. This is how we stretch the dollar value for different people. And what does it mean for you? So some of you may be in business. If you're a business person, you key in the chat business. Or you intend to be a business person, businessman, put in the chat business. Okay? So what does it mean for you? If you are someone who is in business or working towards building a business, you can potentially buy it as a personal investment and then rent it out to your company, left, right pocket. And technically, you can grow your personal wealth because you're collecting rent through company into your personal. And what if, yeah, this is powerful. If you or a group of you can collaborate together to build wealth through creating companies, through creating business, through enterprise. Yeah, and of course now with ABSD, some of you are going to say, hey, it's costly to buy another residential property. What if you learn and know and how to figure out what's the highest and best use for this building, and you can stretch your possibilities to other buildings as well. So this was one of those interesting opportunities. How many of you perhaps, want to potentially jointly invest with a group of like-minded people in a building like this? Give me a yes. How many of you want that? Yeah. How about, how many of you want the skill set to be able to identify and negotiate investment opportunities like this? Give me a me. Okay, give me a me, M-E. Yes. And this is where it is crucial to build on all these skill sets so that when you look at any buildings in Singapore, all over the world, you'll be able to identify, negotiate, and close opportunities. Okay, this is another building. So the first part, I'm going to stretch your mind in the different types of way you can invest in real estate in Singapore and all around the world. All right. So this was a potential en bloc deals. Key in en bloc if you know what's en bloc, ENBLOC. If you know what's en bloc, key in ENBLOC in the chat. Okay, this was actually a potential en bloc. It has a commercial 4-story plus residential. For those of you who don't know, just follow me. You understand this better. So what it means is the owners can come together to actually sell the land to a developer. Whether you're residential, whether you're commercial residential, whether whichever use you are, you can potentially come together to make it happen. Because in Singapore, we have a law that governs that. Even in Sydney recently, there was also a row of properties that were sold en bloc, joint sale, 100%. Yeah. So this was actually 28 residential owners. What was very interesting was when I actually started this process for the owners, they came to me, they said, Stella, can you do the en bloc for me? I started the process and then we discovered that, hey, the commercial owners were not interested to participate. And under the en bloc law in Singapore, you need 80% by share value to agree to the sale and 80% by floor area. What it means is you have residential, which will comprise more than 80%, will comprise a big component of the 80% by floor area, but commercial would actually have a lot of the share value on their side. So what it means is if I'm more than 20%, technically, you can't do the deal if they disagree, okay, on share value. So put 80% share value, 80% floor area in the chat, so that for those of you who don't understand this, you can understand this slowly, okay? I'm going at the pace of consumption for all of you, at the speed, all right? So, however, I actually put a very different strategy for them, because since by share value, the commercial owners were not interested, which means that technically you can't do the en bloc sales. However, I actually put them together for a collective joint sale. 80% share value must agree to the sale and 80% by floor area, okay, for any en bloc to happen. So what happened was I actually gathered them, put them together, and I had 28 owners to meet up to put the residential component by a collective joint sale. Unfortunately, when we put up for sale, 6 owners held back. They say, no, we're not going. We want to wait and see. We are interested, but we'll wait and see. So regardless, we went ahead with 22 owners for the tender. And what was very interesting is there were a couple of offers that came in, and one offerer came in with a very special deal. He came in above reserve price for 22 units. Yeah, remember I had only 22 owners sign with me. And an even higher offer if we can get all 28 owners. That means that if I can get 28 owners, every single owner will get a minimum of $500,000 more. So if you're one of the 28 owners, would you sell at 22 units? We can run already. We have got offers to run. Or you want Stella to work harder, get at least $500,000 more. If you're 22, keen 22, you want to take money first and run. If you're one of those 28, you just put 28. Okay, let me know what is your viewpoint on that. Okay, everybody is different, huh? Yeah, some people will say, wait, some 500,000 more exactly, minimum. Yes, depending on size. Yeah, I see a lot more 28. Sometimes people choose 22. It's nothing wrong, because you can exit and you can buy something else. So this is when the en bloc didn't happen. They could still proceed with the sale. This is another form of exit strategy for them. In fact, in the market, no other property consultant wanted to do this except me, because I was able to innovate it differently. So it's about that ability to do deals differently. Okay, so this was another deal. Sometimes it's this interesting deal like this Katong Mall, $219 million, full commercial, shops and office. How many of you do not have $219 million? Raise your hand. Okay, you can see, use emoji, you can give me a hands up there. Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. Great. I'm seeing hands raised. Okay, more. You mean a lot of you have $219 million? Yeah, great. Yeah, great. My hand is raised because I do not have $219 million. Yeah, but this is where it's powerful, where we can do things like this together. And this is the fact, one of the reasons why I'm running this workshop, because I understand how to create, how to spot, and how to close those deals. Because this is what I've been doing all this time. And I understand that in order to get a deal like this going, there needs to be a group of people to pull together, to take profits together. So if you are one of those people and you're qualified, you might get an invite towards the end of this workshop where I'm going to show you how it works. All right? Yeah. So I'm going to give you more examples. Paramount Hotel and Shopping Center, it was a hotel cum shopping center. So what it means is there's owners who own the shop units. And this was another en bloc sales. This was one where there's a majority owner, and the majority owner wants to sell. In fact, he wants to buy back. But what was very interesting was when the tender closed, the offer came too good to reject. In the end, Paramount Hotel sold. So at 240 millions, and of course, everyone was happy, not just the majority owner. This is where, even if you are not majority owner, you're one of the minority owner, you can actually join in the sale. And that's powerful when you're in the right project. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you can be involved in any of these deals, in any shapes, in any forms, you will be a winner. And in fact, again, this is what this training is for. You can be part of this even if you're starting out. And who wouldn't mind being in all these deals? Who wouldn't mind? Give me a me if you don't mind. So even if you are just starting out, even if you understand how to identify, negotiate, and close all these properties, this is how you begin. So you don't want to wait until the day you have the money, then you do this. It's already too late because you're not going to have the money. And that's the irony of things, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to start learning how to have the skill set first. And then only you can have the income. Agree? Yeah. Besides, after all these examples, right, you realize that en bloc don't just happen for residential. Now with ABSD, you want to stretch your mind and you want to see how you can invest in the real estate market and still create value for yourself, create money for yourself, create growth. And you can potentially look at other types of property to grow your portfolio. So this is one finalist green. This is a strategy of restructure, reposition, and reconfigure to the highest and best use for sale. Okay, so this was a project that we could actually put them together and stretch the value so that we could have the highest value. So what if you can actually acquire all these skill sets to increase value and sales price for your asset? Who wants that? Give me an I if you want to have that skill set. Give me an I. Okay, cool. I see some raise hand. Give me an I. Yeah, so there are some challenges and different for each of you. So before we actually dive deep into the session, let me know what are your challenges so that I can address it one by one in this workshop. Yeah, so what are the challenges that you face right now in the real estate market for each and every of you? It could be different. So what is yours? Can you put in the chat so that financial, cool, okay? What do you mean by financial? Give me a little bit more information on that. What do you mean by financial? Okay, don't know what to buy. Yes, money not enough. Cool, yeah. What else? What are all these challenges in the market? Only this? I think we have a what ABSD, the know-how. Yeah. Okay. So typically there are generally quite loan. Yes, I'm seeing more. Yeah, get it coming, get it coming. So usually in the market, buying the wrong property. Yes, exactly. And that can be very painful when you buy the wrong property. So there are quite a few challenges out there. Some of them are like what y'all say, don't know how to get started. You can't afford it. You have little cash to begin for those new timer. Don't know how to leverage and how to build a property portfolio without having to pay more ABSD. Scared of losing money after buying. Yeah, and many, many more. Yeah, these are some of the key essential ones. So by the end of this workshop, you're going to discover 3 secrets to cover some of these challenges or most of the challenges that you have over there. So there are 3 secrets in generating wealth through property investing. So number 1, first thing first, we want to discover the hidden gems, how to identify undervalued, I call them ugly properties with high potential for capital appreciation. And secret number 2, how to transform the property that you buy by restructuring, reconfiguring them so that you can turn these properties into cash flow machines and value appreciating assets. How many of you want that? Secret number 2 as well. Give me yes. Secret number 3, how do you then profit, repeat, and retire by understanding how to consistently exit with 30% gains and scale your system that fund your future and build generation wealth. Who wants that too? Okay, so these are the 3 secrets that will dive deep, that will cover a lot of you here, your concerns. So my goal for this training is to actually help you discover how to increase your wealth for quality retirement, for comfortable traveling around the world, taking care of your family by mastering how to invest. First thing first, invest in undervalued properties. And the only way to discover how to do it is to follow the proven way of how to do it. All right. So who does this work with? So how many of you are totally new. That means you're selling your HDB, you're investing in private market, you've never bought a single property in Singapore or anywhere in the world, give me a type 1. You fall in the category of 1. Give me a 1. So if you're totally new, you want to buy your first property, you want to make your first pot of gold, give me a number 1. All right? Okay, give me more ones. There are quite a number of you here. So maybe you're the other group of people. Yeah, some of you are looking at bigger deals, looking to readjust your portfolio, how to scale, how to build multiple streams of income, how generate for legacy. Key in number 2. If you're a different group, the second group of people who already bought, who wants to see what you can do, what else can you do to grow your income, give me a 2. Awesome. Just keep it going. Okay, there are only 2 types here. Either you're a beginner or you're already in the game, so that I can show you the next steps. All right. So I have a little bribe for you. For those of you who stay till the end, how many of you want a free copy of this en bloc potential guide and process? Okay, give me a yes, okay? So if you stay until the end of this webinar, we're going to show you how it works at the last slide of this webinar. All right, okay, let's get started. Let's dive into the real estate market. So I'm going to show you key cities in Singapore and all over the world. Okay, so we're going to look at prices of properties in similar cities. So this is not me talking. This is your engagement. You want to understand the market. You want to understand how to look at property. So you want to participate with me. All right. Okay. So we're going to study typical markets in the world, similar cities. And I want you to see what do they have in common. All right. What do they have in common? This is the property market in Hong Kong from 1980s to 2020s. So you want to study them. Okay. And this is the market from 1970s to 2020s for London, key cities in the world. This is for New York from 1970s to 2020s. Okay. And finally, this is Singapore for residential market in the last 20 to 30 years. What do they have in common? What do all these cities, major cities, have in common? Can you see from the graphical upward trend? What? Rise in price? What else do they have in common, all these key cities? Increase in price? What else? Come on. Stretch your mind. Market up and down, but end higher. Low supply. Linear. Yeah, see, we're stretching you. All right. So, in all these key cities, what you realize that price goes up and up and up. Long-term price, higher and higher, comes down, but goes up again. Yeah, for the last 20 to 30 years, price has gone higher and higher. Why? Some of you say low supply. Why? What else? What are the reasons that cause price to go higher and higher? What do you think for all these major cities? Demand is high, supply is low, inflation. Exactly. Supply is low. Yeah, first thing first, they are highly dense, places. They're limited land areas. We haven't figured out how to manufacture land, isn't it? Yeah, and you all said it right. It combat is inflation. Yeah. Yes, population increase. And during COVID, what happened? Did the price in Singapore goes up or come down? Did it go up or come down? Yeah, exactly. Up. Yeah. So, and you probably heard it. Property combats inflation, withstand downturn. And so even though when price increases, people still continue to buy. So you can't go wrong with it. This is why majority of the wealthiest people in the world are in property. So when it comes to property, yeah, there are only 2 ways to make money. Okay, I'm just going to simplify what you hear in the noise in the market out there. There are only 2 ways. You're either going for the capital gains, which is price appreciation, or you're going for the cash flow, which is your monthly income. All right. So what if I can show you how to have the best of both worlds? Who wants that? Give me a me. Okay. I'm Stella Ho. I am an author. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an investor. I'm mother of 3. I'm a property strategist for close to 30 years. And I've actually helped clients, real clients and myself generated multi-millions through real estate investing, which is very challenging in Singapore. As of yesterday, there was another new measure up there. I think most of you will know by now. So this part of my life, I decide to dedicate my life to actually helping people create and leverage wealth so that you can protect your family's future and make you feel empowered and secure in your future. Now with AI, jobs can be taken, things can change, and you can lose it all. So I really hope that you can avoid trading time for money, avoid the stress of financial insecurity and having no time and health in retirement. And so I'm about to put you in control of your life in just 3 simple steps. Just shifting your mindset on property investing, empowering you with the skill set so that you can create and leverage wealth where time and money is no longer a concern for the first time. So I hope this will be the breakthrough that you'll be looking for the longest time. All right. So I have been in this market for close to 30 years. I've actually done countless of deals, like en bloc sales, Capital Land, bought 420 million, Choyong Gardens, Dragon Mansion, Ingtai Mansion, 76 million, Seabreeze Apartment. Yeah, just like I mentioned, the 28 units of residential at 336 River Valley Road, Clementi Mall, a shopping mall, Katong Mall, en bloc sales 1 and 3 Phillip Street, AIA Tower, the old AIA Tower, 1 Nelson Green, Paramount Hotel, many, many more. $13 billion in sales and deals. Okay, I know, okay? To most people, yeah, not of my concern. Why are you sharing this, right? Yeah, first of all, it already sounds unbelievable. I know that. And the reason why I know that is because it wasn't like that for me as a person, individual investor. This was my professional journey. This is exactly how I got started. Yeah, I actually was born in a kampong. How many of you know what's a kampong? What's a kampong? Anyone knows? Some of you may not know because you're much younger. I was born into this, I think, in a nice ways village. Yeah. So my family and my cousins, we all live with, all the siblings, my parents and their siblings live in 1 bedroom each family. So I stay with my parents in 1 bedroom. And it was only when I was about 5 years old, thereabouts, we shifted to a 3-room HDB flat. 3-room HDB flat is a 2-room HDB, right? You all know. And then it's a rented one before my father finally got a 4-room HDB flat in Sims Way. So that was my personal journey. However, I made a change, a decision for myself, which is why I do this today, because I hope today, after today, some of you are going to make that pivotal change in yourself. Some of you are going to make some, change into a direction, okay? Yeah, what was the main change was when I was 15, my father works from 8:30 to 2:30 a.m. He works super long hours. I hardly talk to my dad. He was just someone who signs my report card. One day at 2:30 a.m., he was at the kitchen area, and for the first time, I saw my father cry. I was shocked. I was only 15 years old. I never seen him cry. And then he told me that he was taken advantage for in his business by a family member. So he lost a big part of his business. I sort of understand, but I didn't understand fully because I was only 15. However, that moment I made a decision. In fact, I made 2 decisions. So I hope each and every one of you will make at least 1 decision today. All right? I made 2 decisions. One, I wanted to be a businesswoman so that I can make my father proud. Business was the only thing I understood because my father was a businessman. Yeah, I didn't know what's, of course, at the age. Number 2, I wanted to wear a square hat so that my father can be proud of me. And when I finally did that, grandma, who used to say, girls no need to study hard, just marry well, she was so proud. And she never said that again to another cousin because I graduated with a degree. And it wasn't easy to get there because I wasn't the most hardworking student. I wasn't that clever. In fact, I want to go into business. I couldn't get into business. My grades was not good enough. So I was searching for a faculty that is close enough to business. And I found this faculty called estate management. It was actually real estate. So that's how I somehow got into real estate early in life and I built the skill set. So I graduated with a degree in estate management in real estate. So that's how I could begin my journey early because I had the chance to start with the right skill set. However, I had no money to begin my journey because I was like an HDB ordinary girl. And my ex-boyfriend then, during uni days said, okay, let's go and queue for HDB flat because it takes 5 years to queue, another 2 years to build. By the time we get the HDB flat, it's easily 7 years. So we queue during uni days because both of us somehow were in real estate early. And came 1997, I graduated with a degree. But my starting pay was only $1,400 in salary. I rejected all the government authorities because I wanted to build the foundational revaluation. So I joined a private site. I only draw 1,400. The only thing I had then was this stable paycheck. And my ex-boyfriend said, let's get out of the HDB queue. In 1998. That was when crisis happened. How many of you remember in 1998 what was the crisis? Anyone my time know what's the crisis in 1998? You can just put in 1998 crisis in Singapore. Perhaps it will show up in Google. Anyone knows what happened? Asia financial crisis. Exactly. Yes, Asia financial crisis. I want you to write in the chat, crisis is opportunity. Put in the chat, crisis is opportunity. Exactly. Crisis was opportunity for me. I just graduated. I had a starting pay of 1,004. However, the market was bad. And we both dropped out of the HDBQ and we went to purchase this 4th-story walkout apartment at Upper East Coast Road. The only thing that we both had then, was a stable paycheck. So we took advantage of that. How many of you right now, you're starting in your real estate journey? Give me the one again. Let me know who you are. Yeah. Let me know who you are again. So I'm speaking to you. So understand that the most common reason that people end up with doing nothing about real estate is because they say, wait till I have the money. Then I start investing in real estate, which is not the case for me. Yeah. If I have used that as my reason, I would never have gotten started. Understand that that is not a reason. You know, the biggest advantage that you have right now, if you're working for someone, is that, and you are young, is that you can leverage. In fact, the bank sees you. Even if you're middle age, you have a paycheck, the bank sees you. The bank sees me as high risk now because they don't see me as having a stable income right now because I'm a business person. However, you know what? Banks love stability, predictability. And that's how I got started. And how many of you agree? Yeah, there are a lot of successful people out there that you heard about, read about today, that at some point in their life, they had no money as well. What makes the difference for them? What do you think makes the difference for them? At one point, they had no money, today they made it. What was the main difference? Action. What else besides action? Never give up. Just do it. Cool, cool, cool. Come on, anyone has any ideas? They have the guts. They have the courage. Daring. Yeah. So not having money is the result. What we need to work on is the symptoms. And ultimately, we do not have an income problem with a skill set. Because when you have the right skill set, the skill set will be able to take you through to help you generate money. Agree? And that's what this training is all about. So saying rich people can do this, the true fact is I wasn't born rich. I just got started much earlier. I had the know-how early in life to build that first pot of gold. And let's dive into your journey now. How many of you have no exit strategy in life? Yeah, what I mean is, now with AI, right, your job can be taken. Now at midlife crisis, you know, in your 40s, in your 50s, you can lose your job because the young can take over you, or the companies wants to downsize whatsoever. Have you designed an exit strategy for yourself? I want to share this because when I was in my 20s, I have a country head. I was working in the MNC, and one of my country head, he's a Caucasian, yeah, and he's a British, and he told me this, Stella, you're in your 20s, but I want to say this to you. Your income, your sustainable income is what sustain you. Okay? And your investment income should come from property. So I was very, very, very blessed in the sense that I have mentors in my life, in my job, that I met who give me wise advice. So he told me this. And this was the man who, even though he's a foreigner, he bought good class bungalows under his wife because only Singaporeans can buy. He bought apartments with his paycheck. He bought commercial, he bought shop house. And sometimes you're not at my table because we are open concept. So not my table and ask me, what are the en bloc opportunities that I can look for? Yeah. What if, exactly, someone said, what if gone into the wrong property investments? It's going to be very, very painful, especially now. Because one, wrong property investments can cost you millions. Agree? So I have one student who came for my class and he said, Stella, I wish I know you earlier. I bought 3 properties. I lost hundreds of thousands, equates to millions of dollars because of the wrong property choices, and I had to sell them to cut loss. I wish I know you earlier. Then I won't make all these mistakes. So now I have to restart all over again. I also have met property people in the market who never invested because they saw people lose all their savings during the crisis. Yeah, so you can also see some property people, they are also not invested because, it is the journey. And do you even have the money to retire? Question, do you have the money to retire? Now, with inflation, do you have the money to retire? How much do you need to retire? Do you even know? And retire when? What if you are really, daily stuck in the daily grind of work, having no time, no money to retire? Yeah. And that was me in corporate life. I was working for MNCs and I was working day and night because I call myself 7-Eleven technically. Because I was working in corporate, I had to be in office from 8:30 to 5 officially. And in the evenings, I'll be meeting clients. So what was the greatest regret was I really lose time in my children's growing up years. I couldn't see them. By the time I reach home, they're sleeping. By the time I leave for work, they're either, left for school, yeah, when they're much older, or they are still sleeping when they are in much younger age. I actually did not have time with them during their growing up years. And what only starts to hurt was when you're in their teens, and I realized I wasn't close to them. In fact, I was really very grateful for COVID to happen in one way or another because that was my chance to meet up. That was my chance to bond with them. That was my chance to rebuild, my connections with my children. I mean, today, we are very close as because of that opportunity. However, those were the times that even though I was building wealth with my work and my investment in real estate, I also lose time because I miss out on markets. What if you're working so hard with, for other companies, for other people right now, and you're not looking after yourself? I recall there was one point I told people, friends, family, clients to go and buy landed in Serangoon Gardens that time. It was only $300 per square feet. Put down $300. $300. Today, you can't even buy anything. Within 6 months, because I was so busy helping people make millions, 6 months later, when I look back into the market, I wanted to buy that landed, it was $800. Put down 800. In 6 months, price increased by $500. So I missed it. But of course, today, you have to buy because today it will have gone up in value. Exactly. And how many of you here right now, when there are moments when work is over, you can legally go off, but you feel bad because you're the first to leave? Anyone like that? Anyone like that? Because that was also me at one point. Yeah. And one day I had this gentleman, I will just call him D, okay, for his privacy and respect. D left the company. He was in my team. I was head of department. And he left my team. He was my senior manager. I was actually very happy for him. We had a farewell, a meal with him. And he left for a client. He finished his master. Everything was like, wow, rosy for him. And he was doing a second master. And one day I received a call. On the other side of the phone, business associate told me, Stella, D passed on. I was shocked. This was a ex-national badminton player. He was still playing badminton. He was relatively healthy. He was fit. He was exercising. He was found next to his car at the petrol kiosk station. Guys, what do you think caused his death? What do you think can cause someone to suddenly collapse at the petrol kiosk station? He was actually pumping gas into the water, I think, into the car, sorry. Heart attack, common, right? These days, yeah, in the past few weeks, we heard a lot more cases of young people passed on. However, when I went to his wake, I was shocked further. The cause of death was exhaustion. It was not heart attack, it was not stroke, it was exhaustion. And that really woke me up. And that was my awakening that I want to do real estate differently. I want to be able to help more people gain financial freedom, gain life, gain health, gain family. Yeah, exactly. So, which is why I'm doing this workshop these days. So, if you are looking at real estate now today, then what can you invest in? If we talk purely on residential, okay? Okay, let's look at the ways to invest in real estate because we want to dive deep into all the opportunities and see what's best for us. All right. So new launches or resale. I think in the last few months, a lot of people have actually gone into new launches. They have actually balloted for it, thinking that they can actually make money in a few years when TOP time. And that's what we call hope and pray strategy. Why so? This is a case study from Hui Fen. She bought Skyline Residence. She was hoping to make money at TOP. At TOP, developer relaunched the balance units at 15% discount. Her dream clashed. She bought and made a loss at TOP. Exactly. What if we look at resale? There are only two ways, resale or new, isn't it? Yeah. So if you look at the graphical representation over the last 20 years, some people say you can only make real money with new launches. Let us really dive deep. This is the graph for the last 20, 30 years for all landed, for non-landed, for all residential. So you can see that the graphical representation is when the market goes up, everything goes up. When the market comes down, everything comes down. Can you see? So it's not because you are new launch, you go up. You are resale, you go down. No, if you look at the graphical representation, it is the market that will determine whether you can make a gain or a loss. Can you see that? So the story of only new launches can make money, there, not true. Okay? You can also make money with resale. What if I can tell you there's a better way out? What if you can have 30% upside or more the day you buy it? And I can tell you that if it's 20%, chances is I wouldn't want to do it. And that is the little known secret of investment that very few people know. That's the undervalued property that you want to be able to find out in the market so that your entry point, you're already ahead of others. Agree? If your entry point is ahead, you can already make gains much earlier than many of your friends, your competitors, whatsoever. Yeah. I know for some of you, you're starting out. Maybe, yeah, even if this sounds scary to you, even if you have very little money to begin, even if you think that you need a lot of capital to begin, even if you think You know, this is really complicated, finding all these undervalued properties, finding all these en bloc opportunities, finding all these resale properties. This is for you if you want to understand how to tap on the property cycles, how to leverage on all the opportunities out there for capital gains. Yeah, and this is a journey how I begin, and you can model it too. Okay, I'm going to show you how. So the reality of life is in Singapore, there are only two sources of land in the market. One is what we call government land sales, where you get the new launches. The government release government land sales, then if developer buys it, it'll be out in the market to sell the new launch when the buyer buys it, right? When the developer buys it, he will launch it. All the developer will buy all land, all properties. We call, in those cases, we call en bloc land. The owners come together, they put 80% together and they sell that piece of land. That's en bloc sales. Okay, that's a very simple way of putting it across. So there are only two sources of land. So you want to understand basically what's out there in the market to make clear decisions. However, through the years, I also discover that if I can enter undervalued properties, I can make good money. Put undervalued properties. Put in there undervalued properties. Two, if I can find en bloc properties, that's a bonus. That's a bonus to me. Okay. And what it means is, how can I find all these opportunities that give me a consistent 30% upside every time I sell? Okay. Put 30%. So my journey began this way. When I entered the market, there was a crisis. So I knew that what worse can happen. I bought this ugly looking property, a 4-story walkout apartment, because that was the only thing I could afford then when I first graduated from university. I had very little money. I only had a stable paycheck. I could leverage with my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, and then turned husband because of that. And then we begin this journey of buying this 4-story, and we went on, we bought 2 units of Airview Towers en bloc properties, and we moved on to buy Riverwalk, which is a 99 years property. We make profit, and we move on to also buy commercial properties, so on and so forth, and then landed, commercial, shophouse, so on and so forth, easily worth over $30 million in transactions in value. And I discovered that the most important beginning journey is to identify all those hidden gems in the market. And when people tell you, hey, actually you can make good money when you exit, the truth of the matter is the entry point. Okay, put entry. Okay, it is the entry point. What if you can understand how to identify, negotiate, and close undervalued properties with high potential for capital appreciation even before you enter? And let's start with this first. Okay, it starts with 3 important skill sets. Put in the number 3. Put in 3. Okay, there are only 3 important skill sets when it comes to entry. Okay, in finding those undervalued properties. Put in 3. Number 1, identify. Identify. How many of you want to acquire the skill set of identifying good deals? Give me a yes. Okay. It first begin with identifying the master plan, which as of June, the draft master plan 2025 has been released, and they are actually reviewing the master plan. Okay, it is all transparent now in the master plan. They'll put in everything. Technically, you can find every single information for the plot that is available. Okay, so you can actually understand this, and most importantly, understand also what's going on in the planning for the next 10 to 20 years, because that's going to make a whole lot of difference to make the money. Identify also means you want to identify price. Okay, you don't have to pay for the master plan, it's all there. Okay, identify also means that you want to identify price of new sales price. That will determine new launches, right? That will determine how much a developer will pay for land, and also resale price. What's the secondary market going for? So this is exactly what I use to determine en bloc potential, and this is what developers and valuers use. And by the way, I'm also a licensed valuer myself. I know this looks complicated. At the end of this workshop, I'm going to show you what we now use to simplify the way to shortlist some of these en bloc properties. How many of you would like to be able to discover how to determine if we're profitable even before we go in the deal to buy? Yeah, I have a me quickly. Yes, put in a me. Okay, so I'm going to give you some case studies. Okay, this was a project that we studied, and we discovered that the land value when you sell in the market to a developer will be 480 million. And when we distribute to all the owners on a per square feet basis, they are achieving $1,970 per square feet. So when I compare this price with what they are asking in the secondary market, which is the resale price at 1,350, I discovered straight away that there's a 40% profit, which means that if I enter to buy this property on day one, I already know there's an upside of 40%. Yeah. So if I understand that there's a 40% upside, I can negotiate, right? Because after identify is negotiate. Now you know there's a range for you to negotiate. You know the asking is 1,350, the upside is 1,970. And if I can bring it down to 1,350, I could increase the amount of premium. And if it's more expensive at 1,600, I know the premium is too little to begin, right? So this is when price is important so that you can negotiate and finally close the property.
Better help us to speed up and getting the information that we want.
The coaches, right, Stella and Daniel, they have actually gone through step by step, help us to identify what are good potential units to look at. It's such a useful knowledge that's not available anywhere else, and allow us to be motivated to start on our journey.
So when Siti and her partner wanted to sell the HDB to buy something in the market, they attended our session, and then with the calculator, they discovered that it is quite simple to identify properties in the market that is, well worth it for them to consider in their journey. Yeah, this is how simple it is, even for a layman. So they are beginner. They wanted to have the know-how. For those of you who say, I need some know-how, these are the people who actually come and actually add value to their life by learning the know-how. And let's look at some case study, okay, to give you a sense of how we look at numbers, how we look at deals, how do we look at whether it's undervalued, and how do we look at whether there's a potential out there. Yeah, so this is actually a case study called Thompson View. It was recently done deal in the news, I think in the last week. It was successful. The High Court actually issued a order of sale for the en bloc. This was a very unique one. This is a 99 years project, and it was sold at 810 million. And what it means, what is that number? I know this is huge number. What does it mean? It means that even for all the owners, they're getting about 2.2 to 3.5 million for the apartments. And for the townhouse, is 3.5 to 4.94 million. How then do we know whether it is really something worthwhile for them? Let's dive into the numbers. So on the graphical presentation, right, you can see that actually, if they were to sell in the open market, the value has come down. One, because it is a 99 years project, right? So over time, when you're 99 years project, your sales price will start to, come down when it is much older and it's harder to borrow. So what happened was in the market at that point in time, in sometime 2024, the price was about 2.4 for the existing resale price. However, because they actually went through an en bloc exercise, they got a 45% premium at that point in time. So can you imagine you're one of those who bought at 1 million or even 500,000 at the very beginning of the journey? You have made multiple times on this property. And this is the additional bonuses to an en bloc exercise. And on a ROI basis from 1980s price versus en bloc price, it is actually about 3,000% in premium from the original market in terms of the ROI. Then now let's look at a freehold one. Okay, this is actually Mayor Park. So Mayor Park, about 2022, was the transactions around 1,008 to 2,000. As a result of the en bloc, the premium over the market value at that point in time was 50 to 60%. So each unit, if you sell in the open market, is 2.2 to 2.8 million. But as a result of coming together to put it out for sale together, they got 5.25 to 7.26 million, depending on the size. What it means is they got an additional $1.6 million for one average price of 2.6 million. So instead of taking 2.6 million home, you get 4.2. Yeah, isn't that great? How often do you get this kind of windfalls? Yeah, not even Toto also cannot strike so easily, right? Yeah. So if we look at the ROI over the years is 952%. Yeah, this is to give you a sense of the numbers. So this is Teen.
I must say that it is true that this property is like 300,000 under value. It is first is freehold, second is undervalued already. Just by purchasing, I already make a profit in fact. And it's not a easy buy because it is not like a straight purchase. They have been the one that's guiding me throughout these few days. And it's an opportunity that I shouldn't miss. I wouldn't have looked at that place if not from Stella and Daniel. Looking forward to it being able to go through the envelope few years later.
Yeah, just now I talked about three, right? Identify, negotiate, and close. She was one of those in March 2024, just last year. She bought this property and we were able to identify this 300,000 below the market value. She got this freehold property near Orchard Road at 1.65 million thereabouts when other people are transacting around $2 million. And at that point, she was able to calculate that if she comes together with the owners to put up for en bloc, which is a bonus, she'll be able to get about 800,000 more. So the day she buys, she knows she easily will have a gain of $1 million. She can sleep in peace with her purchase. So some of you are afraid, like, what if I go in the wrong property, right? So at the end of the day, it's just math. Property is just about math. You understand how to calculate, you understand how to identify, negotiate, and close. That's when you can put yourself in a good space, the entry. So today, right now, they are doing the en blocs. And she's very lucky because she entered last year. So enter last year means that your SSD is only 3 years. Yesterday night, there was an announcement that the SSD, the seller stamp duty, will be for 4 years. 4 years means 16% first year, 12% second year, 8% third year, and 4% fourth year. She was lucky because she entered the market last year. She was one of those who, like you, came into the session and decided to take action, and that makes a whole lot of difference because she will be in the market 1 year ahead of you. Yeah, she can actually enter. It's a residential project. And she went in so happy because she knew she's ahead. So sometimes I love to question this. If not now, then when? If not now, then when? Because you never know when another cooling measure will come, when another constraint will come. Why not take action now? So she took action, yeah, and she made her decisions to move on. So that was I in 1998. Look, I know those en bloc transactions, those look like big numbers, $392 million, 800 million. Those are very big numbers. I get it. And I understand what you're feeling because when I was starting out, I had no money. My first deal was Ocean Apartment. And I went in, my purchase price was 400,000. I went in, I sold it for 580K. I put in a down payment of 40K. My cash on cash return was 77%. Had I not entered into the market, I would not be able to build the cash for the next investment. Yeah. So look, my first deal wasn't a mall, it wasn't hotel, it wasn't industrial land, it wasn't prime area, it wasn't prime real estate, it wasn't in Orchard. This is my first deal. I just decided to begin. And in fact, my very first deal was the complete opposite of traditional advice, which was buy HDB first. How many of you are told that your first property, you should buy a HDB unit? If that's you, give me a me. If that's your advice, give me a me. First advice, buy HDB first. I was very fortunate because even though that was my very first advice, I didn't go with the advice. I bought this unit instead. So notice it's not modern, it doesn't have a swimming pool, it's not a condominium, it's nothing of that. But this is where I know that's when we can achieve the most value, and that would be when I can make the decent margins. When I have an ugly property, I could actually transform it and change it around for myself. I took my entire savings, I did this purchase. Yeah. So how many of you, if you could turn back the clock and you could start with Ocean Apartments, you would do it now? Give me an eye if you're one of those. Yeah, me also can. Yeah, exactly. So I went on because I was able to build my first small pot of cash. I was able to do the second one. I was able to buy 2 units of Airview Towers at 900,000. Can you make a guess how this was an en bloc property? Can you make a guess how much I sold it for? Imagine this, minimum 30% upside. Then I will consider it a decent good deal. How much do you think I sold this for? Okay, I have a guess, $1.5 million. Well, very quick math. It's all about math. Huh? Real estate is pure math. You need to understand. 2.5 million. Cool. Yeah. Anyone else? Any more guess? 1.8 million. Sounds like auction. Let's have some fun, okay? Stretch your mind. Guess what? $2 million. I sold these for $3 million each. Why? Because I have the skill set of understanding the math behind this. And that was also because I understand how to leverage on my pay, leverage on resources. Yes. It was a 1,200 square feet unit each, thereabout. What does it tell you? It means that at this very moment, there are deals today like Ocean Apartment, like Airview Towers, maybe not that kind of quantum, but smaller quantum. There are deals that are undervalued. And the right question is, are you equipped with the right skill set to identify what are these? Are you able to negotiate and close? Because if you can, that's how you can be successful doing all this. What does this tell you and me? The first lesson for all of us today is that I want you to understand that you do not have a money problem. The money is the result. So the symptom is that you want to be equipped with all the right skill set to do this. So your priority right now is to do whatever it takes to equip yourself with the right skill set, because with the right skill set, you'll be able to identify, negotiate, and close all these properties. And my total investment to learn all of this is actually 30 years of my time and lost millions of dollars investing, so that today I can actually dissect the journey. So this is the story of Mrs. Tan. Yeah, I'm not showing her picture. Okay, she's the typical story of a middle class person. And the reason I don't want her to be on camera is because she is actually a civil servant. You guys know why, right? Yeah, civil servant, they cannot be on on the camera. However, this is the person who started with a 3-room flat, who moved on to a maisonette, and then she bought a private. She's the person who ultimately broke up, the entire system. She was willing to follow the game plan. She was able to utilize the civil servant paycheck and exponentially grow her portfolio. And today, her portfolio out there, this property out there, is actually a golden egg for her, because it is also another property that can potentially be in the market for en bloc if she wants to do it. So this is Mr. and Mrs. Tan, Mr. and Mrs. Lee, sorry. They bought a District 9 freehold property near Orchard Road. The day they bought it, they know there's a 30% upside. They decided to stay in it. Now with ABSD, you can buy a property, you know there's an upside of 30% or more. The best is they also bought, close to under value. They can live in it. They just have to reconfigure, reposition, and live in it and wait out to maximize the returns. So they also made a capital gains on a second property. So when they first came to me, they had 2 properties, husband and wife each. And they thought, hey, the properties they had en bloc value. When I look at the portfolio, I realized that some people, they don't even know that the portfolio are not great. And because I was able to look at the portfolio, I discovered the 2 so-called, I would say, not so good eggs in the basket. So I actually gave them advice, and they sold one of it. In fact, that one of it, they wanted to sell like 1.15. The value was only 900,000. I gave them the strategy to negotiate, and eventually they closed at 1.15. They closed 200,000 above market value. And of course, they used the money, they bought this home to live in with a potential upside. And the second property also doesn't have en bloc value. Yeah, I think this year is the time they are selling that. Yeah, to reposition their cash. So then they can restructure your portfolio. Yeah, this is when you can restructure your portfolio. If you know what's in your portfolio are rotten eggs, then you can reposition that. So secret one is actually discovering what are these hidden gems and having the skill set to identify all these ugly properties that potentially has high potential for capital appreciation. Then when you have that knowledge, you are able to find the right property, then we reposition it. Okay, how to transform it for profit. So we want to discover how to restructure, reposition, and reconfigure the property that turn ugly properties to cash flow machines and value appreciating assets. So before we dive into this strategy, I want you guys to tell me which is your choice, the old unit on the left or the new unit on the left, if you're given a choice to make a decision to buy. Okay, old or new. Okay, and nothing wrong with choosing the new. Yeah, some of you will choose it for the fact that it's nice looking. Yeah. So this is in order to illustrate what I mean by potential. Okay, on the left is this old ugly sub-sale unit. It's scary, it needs a paint job, it looks horrible. On the right is this pristine looking swimming pool facilities, developer new launch that looks so perfect. So at first glance, most of you will probably choose the new one, isn't it? It's much easier. Yeah, it's much, much easier. At first glance, most people will choose the pristine looking one with swimming pool from the developer. Well, it looks nice. There's nothing broken. They're thinking about having that beautiful swimming pool view. They're thinking about all of those things that not necessarily add value to the rental yield, the cash flow, or the upside. You know what it also means? It means that you're paying painful full retail price, like every investor out there. There is no bandwidth when it comes to the property. What can you do with it? It's already pristine, it's already nice, already paying full retail price. It's only fair because the developer has to make money. He put in all the beautiful things, you have to pay for it. However, a seasoned investor will do this. They'll look at what are some of the things that he can add value to the old apartment, whether this apartment, this property has the most bandwidth to work with when it comes to increasing cash flow or rental yield, whether there's an intrinsic value to the land, yes, whether there's an en bloc potential, whereas most investors who are just starting out, they will not even look at this old apartment. Yeah, by the way, that's what differentiates between a really good investor versus a mom and pop investor who just buy direct from the developer because it's so easy. Yeah. So let's look at this property that I utilize our strategy on. If you look at this place, how many of you agree it doesn't look luxurious? So just old and ugly, right? Yeah. Raise your hand if you agree it's like 30 odd years old. Yeah. In most cases, most people walk in, they're going to say, oh man, the view looks horrible. To a certain extent, is it haunted? It's scary. However, I don't look at it this way. First of all, when I first look at the property, I'm going to see if there's a way for me to restructure it. Can I reposition it? Can I reconfigure it? Can I increase the value? I remember we start the session by talking about how to increase the valuation, right? So, of course, the fact is it doesn't look pleasant when you first look at it. To me, that's when I can add value. When I look at property like this, I don't want to look at the visible. I want to look at the invisible, the potential. So I will look at what? The structure, the plumbing, the potential, all the things that are invisible. Whereas most people are looking at, they're looking at the visible. Is there a swimming pool? What are the facilities? Things like that. Oh, the unit is ugly. Whereas I look at the invisible things. Those stuff that I can potentially reconfigure, restructure, and reposition in. And that what was make the main difference here, okay? I changed it around. So the main difference was increasing the cash flow from $3,000 rental to $10,000 rental. Yeah, exactly. With a strategy like this, based on my quick calculation, it costs about 80,000 thereabout to restructure, reconfigure, and reposition it. And it can bring in a rental of close to 100,000. Sorry, 10,000. What am I talking about? Yeah. Yeah. So I can actually get back my investment in slightly less than 9 months. How many of you agree in a time like this, 100% yield within 9 months is a pretty good yield? If you agree, put yes. Yeah, give me some encouragement out there. Yeah, and that only happens if you understand how to reconfigure, how to restructure, how to reposition. And this is secret number 2. As a property investor, you don't want to invest based on your emotions. You want to invest based on logic, based on reasoning, based on how you can add value. Can you see that now you have this skill set? It can help you become a better investor. And that's how we continue to add value. Yeah.
And
And
I found it is very practical, especially about the recalibration of the floor plans. The most important thing is that they have been there, done that. They are not a textbook master.
So this is the cash flow domination action plan that we talk about by restructuring the unit from a $3,000 to a $10,000 income. And Jason is actually a property agent. As a result of learning this, he now positioned himself as one en bloc person because he learned the skill set of en bloc. 2, he also positioned himself being able to do this for co-living, for increasing rental, for the units, for the clients that he served. So there are a lot of property agents who come from my class and who are able to learn these skill sets and put it in their business. And for those investors, put it into their own property investing journey.
And I found it.
So now that you know you can restructure, reposition, and reconfigure to increase cash flow, the next thing is how do you then profit, repeat, and then retire with this? By understanding how to consistently exit with 30% upside gains and skill a system that not only funds your future, but also generate generation wealth. Okay, we're going to break it down. Now, of course, yesterday there's these changes to the seller stamp duty and with higher buyer stamp duty as well. You know, Singaporeans, you can only buy 2 maximum, husband and wife if you're married. And foreigners, crazy. Even entities, yeah, you can't. Yeah. So with all these challenges, you want to discover what are the ways to do it differently. And so May, she actually came for our session. She was actually a professional. A lot of students are professionals in the market, entrepreneurs. And she wanted to, she doesn't know how to invest in real estate. She only bought a matrimonial home with her husband. She is invested in stocks and shares and everything else, other portfolios except property. As a result of attending our session, she figured out how to do it. She had the knowledge to begin her journey. So within 90 days after her training, she bought her first investment property at 1.8 million. Within 6 months of the session, she and her husband went to buy an overseas property to design it for retirement. So they have actually technically retired with a portfolio and they can still continue building it because they build the skill set to profit, repeat, and retire. So when we first started, and this is where we want you to understand that in order for you to do this, you want to learn how to leverage. Leverage with your income, leverage your friends, leverage your family, and that's how we got started. Okay, when we first started, we leveraged our income with our paycheck. And then we also leverage with the bank. We leverage with resources. That's how we bought Avenue Towers. And we continued that. We went on to buy Katong Mall, which was also en bloc. And what if the property that you buy is not unblockable? We bought this. This is called Riverwalk. Today, Riverwalk is still standing there. It's a 99 years. After we enter, we knew the portfolio of the profile of the owners. They're not interested in en bloc. So we exited. We exited with profit. Because that's when you understand what to enter, how to enter, and enter right, you can exit with profit, whether or not it's unblockable. As long as you make money, yeah, you can actually exit. And it's about repeating and rinsing what works. Flip and sell, collect rent, sell for capital gains, etc. Simply modeling what the rich are doing. So this is Casey and Kelly. Casey is in his 60s, Kelly in her 50s. As a result of attending the sessions with us, they discover and found and also developed the knowledge to be able to do this themselves. So they bought an investment property, District 9 freehold with en bloc potential that they took to lease. Some people took to stay, some people took to lease. For them, they decided to lease that out. They bought a second property with also using our framework, and they were able to find 100K below valuation. And it was not like a super ugly property, it's just a resale property. They found it below 100K below valuation using our framework mathematically, like I said at the very beginning. So that is a home for them to stay. If I didn't remember wrongly, it's a four-bedder. And in fact, they now are discovering what are the other opportunities, starting the master plan with us, continuing this journey to be able to build legacy because they have two children. Yeah, that's a part of being able to repeat and rinse what works and continue the legacy planning. And I want to also emphasize this, okay? Legacy is not passing on the property through inheritance. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is cultivating this legacy mindset for real estate investment within the family so that you can actually consolidate resources and work on growing the portfolio as a family so that these are kept within the family. And then you can continue to build generation wealth. And that's how, you can harmonize and unite the family as well. That the side benefit is that because you have a common interest, you have a common direction. And then you can continue doing this on and on. So we're able to do this, continue with the roadmap of using all these leverage strategy and went into lender, went into commercial building, went into commercial residential, went into shop houses, and all these types of building. So I want to give a very key example of Teen. Okay, she not only built on capital gains with her property, buying it 300,000 below market value with a potential upside of $1 million, 800,000. So that totals to be about $1 million. The capital gains the day she buy it. On top of that, she was also able to build a cash flow on the project while waiting for the egg to hatch. Yeah, so now she's like traveling around the world, enjoying her learnings. She retired from her job, and that's the kind of freedom that she give herself. And leveraging also means leveraging on people, leveraging on resources around you. So we have this Property Wealth Investor Club where a group of like-minded investors invest together. And of course, some of them can invest, right, because they use up their name. That's when you can leverage on their knowledge, leverage on their mistakes, leverage on resources, and grow further on from there. So this is Jen. She also leveraged with her family to purchase freehold property with en bloc potential. She sold some when she knows that it cannot make the profit en bloc. It's hard to go en bloc. She exited, make money. She also entered into property and then built on the cash flow. Yeah, turn it around with our strategy of secret tool, how to the cash flow domination action plan, how to reposition it to increase cash flow while she lived in it. Yeah. And she was also able to now work on other commercial en bloc properties at the same time, as well as leverage with her family, bought a private residential property with en bloc potential. So she now has this skill set and expertise. And she, to be honest, she's traveling right now in Hong Kong, all over the world, because of this cash flow and this kind of security that she has built for herself and her family. So this is Cyiw Garden. This is an exact legacy growth mindset process. Cyiw Gardens is actually owned by Cyiw Association, and they were able to build the land into Cyiw Gardens because they own it originally. And then as a result of the land value increase, they sold it. At that time, I think they signed around 280 or 290 million dollars. The market was on the uprise. They sold at above, we launched it above 400 million, and then they sold at 420 million. And the association bought in urban suites. which is the new development. And many of the members, the owners also bought in there. So they're able to continue growing their income, growing the profit because of the fact that, they kept a legacy growth within this.
My intention is to learn how to get an unblockable apartment. I have learned the various technique and the calculation and how to identify whether they are unblockable or not. So it's really meeting my requirement.
So Madam Fong, she's 85. When she first came for the training, she doesn't even know how to download the app. Okay, we created an app, I told you earlier. And as a result of attending the 2-day session, she was so excited at the end. She said, now I could go back and do this at home with my family. I was like saying, oh yeah, you can do this with your sons and your children. She said, no. They already have something. But today, she can now repurpose whatever she has with her grandchildren. Yeah, even if she choose that. So this was so exciting, for her.
I think one of the biggest takeaways that I got was that you can win in multiple ways for unblock. So it's not just about hoping you get unblocked. You can actually win from just the entry price and then sell in the open market later on, or you can use it for your cash flow. So I'm 18 years old this year, and I think a lot of young people my age can get a lot out of this course.
So Morgan, he's 18. When he first came, he actually came for the session on his own. And he was so excited going home, and he said he's going to do this with his family. Even though he's 18, now he has the mindset. First thing first, he shared with you, he broke it down for you. He can potentially look at undervalued properties. 2, look at en bloc properties. 3, look at increasing cash flow. And look at all the exit strategies in the event that there's no en bloc, how to reposition, restructure properties to increase cash flow, whether it's monthly income or whether for capital gains. So all the strategies that can take him a long way out.
I think
So the 3 secrets are very simple. The 3 secrets to create wealth is first, you want to identify these hidden gems. How to identify all those ugly properties with high potential for capital appreciation. Or if I want to say also undervalued. Yeah, strongly undervalued so that you can actually have the upside the day you buy it. And for those, after that is actually how to then do you restructure, reposition this property to turn it into cash flow, to turn it into value appreciating assets, and continue the journey. How to consistently exit with 30% upside to grow this system that continues to grow wealth for yourself. And this is actually the strategy of growing your income with property investment to be able to retire yourself comfortably, travel around the world, take care of a family, build consistent generation wealth that's going to take you a whole long lifetime. So now that we have almost come to the end of the workshop, would it be okay for me to share the system that has helped myself, my family, take care of the bills, pay for my daughter's overseas education, enjoy the thrills of life, go to Antarctica, things like that? Is it okay for me to share the systems and the process? Because actually I have a full-fledged of training, a full-fledged of coaching, because we're looking for people, partners, to do this together. Okay, how many of you, with permission, allow me to share this with you so that we can potentially work together? Okay, so this is my family. I have 3 children. What was very, very comforting for me was actually building the legacy mindset. I think money is one thing, but it's being able to build on the legacy mindset. When we were in Japan, my 18 years old then, this was an earlier picture in Japan, before we went to Antarctica. My 18-year-old boy then actually said that, Mommy, I want to own 100 over properties all around the world. And we actually went to Japan, we look at properties. And when my daughter went to Perth for overseas education, one of the first things she said was, Mom, let's look at property and see whether I can buy while I'm studying here so that we can build passive income. In fact, the youngest, over our latest training, he said that actually real estate is not my backup plan. It is my plan, going forward. So because of what we do for the past 20, 30 years, we're able to pay for holidays, to different places, go to Antarctica, spend a 6-figure family trip, travel to the purest land on earth. I mean, these are the things that, you have the freedom to do. You have the freedom to pay for overseas education, private education for your children. and most importantly, build down the mindset, because the truth of the matter is this. How many of you agree that property is very expensive now? Give me a yes. Okay. Don't you think it's going to be harder for your children? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah, this is exactly why, one of the reasons why I want to do this workshop. Because I know it's tough for you, it's going to be tougher for our children. So I want to be able to build that skill set for you and your children, your family, so they can extend and pass it on. So the first thing that you're going to get from me is actually this property wealth legacy journey, where who does this work for? This work for you if you're totally new. You don't know how to begin. You don't have the know-how. You don't know how to get started. You don't know how to look at numbers. You don't know how to look at leverage. You don't know how, you have little cash to begin. You want to be working closely and having the skill set, the knowledge to begin. And for those of you who already own property, you're looking to expand your portfolio. You want to look at what are other strategies that give you a sense of peace the day you enter it, that builds on your cash flow, that looks at your whole portfolio to see whether there are rotten eggs or there are eggs to replace, and how to increase that portfolio, how to increase the income, how to increase the value of the assets, so that you not only build retirement income, but also exit strategy for life, so that you can actually build on the legacy for wealth creation, for passing on, for, even leaving a lifelong legacy here. Yeah. And what you're going to get, like I said earlier on, is actually a 2 days elite training. In this training, what's going to happen is that you're going to get 2 full days of training. We are going to give you all that skill set that can get you get started. So what are these? So on day 1, we are going to cover a lot of how to find undervalued properties. And in the coming workshop, we're going to disclose an AI tool. Sorry. That's totally brand new on top of the en bloc training. So we're going to show you how to do en bloc, what are things that you look out for in en bloc. And we're going to disclose an AI tool to how to actually find the undervalued properties, even if it's not en bloc, other types of properties. And on day 2, we're going to discover how to restructure, reposition, and reconfigure the properties to earn more passive income, to increase the value of your assets. We're going to look at landed property. You're going to get a co-trainer who's going to dive deep into all this restructure, reposition, and reconfigure, so that you can do it not only for residential, but also for commercial, for other types of property. All right. So this is easily well worth 12,000 in value. So it's 2 days live in person, where for some of you who says, I need hand in hand. Yes, we're going to hold you hand in hand, show you step by step, move by move, how to do this. Yeah. And for those of you who wants immediate results, you want to be discovering how to do this for yourself. For those of you who needs a group of supportive people, that is a group of people who come together, you work together to discover this together. So how much is it worth? Like for Teen, she found this property, 300,000 below market value the day she finds it. And she knows that she can easily also have an upside potential of 800,000 the day she buys it. It gives her a sense of peace to begin with. Yeah. So we're going to do all these.
I must say that it is true that this property is like 300,000 undervalued.
So what else do you need? I know some of you say I need more support. Okay. Remember this, the reconfigure, restructure, reposition. Some of you have already portfolios. You want to increase that valuation for your property. Some of you are buying it and then repositioning it to increase value for investment properties. So this is the before after, where we actually, remember this one? Before that was $3,000. We turn it to a $10,000 income, from 3 to 7, 3 to 10. That's 7,000 upside per month. Yeah, we are only lowballing this cash flow domination action plan at 5,000 in value. Can you imagine from 3,000 to 10,000, that's 7,000 upside. So which means you are already getting easily almost close to 80,000 gains easily. By knowing this skill set, you can increase your monthly income that not only pays on the mortgage, but give you potential passive income. Okay, so 17,000. What else? You know, remember some of you say, okay, I just want to emphasize this. Real estate is not one-time investment. It is actually a lifelong journey. You want to have the property roadmap, and because it's customized, it has to be customized because some of you are beginning in your journey. Some of you already have a portfolio. So each and every one of you are at different stage of your journey. You're looking at creating value in terms of your portfolio, in terms of beginning your journey. So we'll walk you through this property wealth roadmap in order to actually grow your income. So this is like, for us, we started with a walk-up apartment, then we went on to 2 units of en bloc, then we went on to like Avenue Towers, and then we went on to Katong Mall and landed commercial, shop house, etc., etc. For each and every one of you, you're at very different stage of the journey. So we'll actually work with you on your property wealth roadmap journey. And we only lowball at $5,000. Imagine if like teen, you find the right one to begin. Like May, she got the first one at 1.8 million. Today, I think it's well worth. She would easily have another 20% upside already. Yeah, just on paper gains itself in a couple of months. Okay. And we actually have this student who came for our, in fact, she came with the intention to buy a second property for rental income. Okay, these are all real case study. Mr. and Mrs. Yeo. Her husband was retiring last year. So she said, well, let's buy a second property, collect rental income. As a result of attending the session, discovering the property roadmap access, and having the training by our co-trainer on landed, as well as redevelopment potential, increasing the value of the assets, they bought a property about less than 6 months ago. They actually reconfigure, restructure, and reposition it. Today, the value of the property has increased by $3 million. She don't have to wait for the rental income. She can easily sell that for rental income already. And she was lucky because she started ahead, right? She only have the 3 years SSD. So the intention is to collect rental meanwhile, 20 over thousand per month, and cover as much of their renovation cost. By next year, they can position it for sale, collect, and by then it will be well worth more than $3 million upside, and take the money. So this is how you actually reposition yourself on cash as well. So the property roadmap will be designed differently for each and every one of you. For some of them, they begin with the first one, like for Casey and Kelly, they begin by buying the investment one, knowing that it's taken care of with $1 million upside, and then buy the second one with under value of 100K and live in it comfortably. So everyone is different on the property wealth roadmap. However, what it means is they can actually generate income, increase cash flow, have the skill set to be able to do this again and again. Yeah. So what else? You get this secret list of en bloc properties. Yeah, something that is well worth millions of dollars in this booklet, because at every point in time, there will be something in this booklet that potentially can have an upside for you. And it will be one of those gems that you want to discover, where you can actually, like one of them, do it, repeat and over and over again. Yeah. So this will easily shorten your learning curve by at least 10 to 15 years of your time. And to be honest with you, the whole market, only I'm covering this topic. En bloc sales. One, I'm trained in it. I've been doing this for close to 30 years. And I have personally invested. I'm not someone who just do it as an occupation, but I've personally invested. And I'm the only one teaching it openly in the market. Yeah, most people there are only 2 or 3 types of people who know this. One is the developers, 2 is the valuer, and 3 is the consultant who handle this. And even that, not many people understand the calculations behind it. Yeah, because I'm actually trained in this. Yeah, you get not only this secret list, which is well worth millions of dollars if you find that 30% upside easily up there. Remember this complicated spreadsheet? How many of you want to shorten 10 to 15 years of your time figuring this thing out? Yeah, like I said, I'm one of those who does this. And I know some of you are saying, hey, easy, can I do it? Such complicated spreadsheet, right? So in order to get you started easily, I actually created a calculator. Also first of its kind. Yeah, and I open it to layman level so that you can now use this simplified en bloc calculator. You can actually push in some numbers. We will actually guide you on how to identify the plot, how to find the information on the plot, put in the calculator, and then you get the result. And with the result, you'll know whether there's a 40% upside, 30% upside in order to do this. Yeah. So that you never overpay for a fake en bloc hype. All right. So this trade secret calculator is going to shorten your learning curve. For those of you who need step-by-step journey, we have this during the training. We're going to cover that. On top of that, we're going to give you bonus training. Yes, exactly. This is not even mentioned to my team yet. For those of you who are coming for this 2 days elite training, you're going to get additional bonus on top of what we have been doing for, others. Yeah, exactly. So you get this property wealth investor club. Okay. As you all know by now, you're the result of the top 5 persons you hang out with. This is a group of people who have the same mindset. They are going out there. They are actually in the market. You can continue growing. You can stay accountable for actions. You can surround yourself with these top tier deal makers to fast track your learning and stay motivated, inspired, socially connected with these people. And you have, you have this experience that you can extract from them, ongoing support, so that you don't get stuck alone. Yeah, and you want to tap onto this expert knowledge, the peer insights, and get this journey along, for yourself as well. So you can see, we're not only providing with you the tools, the structure, the skill set, we're also giving you a community to support you in this journey. And easily well worth 47,000. You can see, if all this did, it's just empower you to find that one property with 30% upside gain the day you buy it. Would it be well worth it? Or just increase the value of your portfolio, your cash flow, so that you can retire comfortably, pay for holidays, pay for your students' overseas education. Would it be well worth it? And what if you can have this legacy mindset built for your family, so that whatever you build right now is not thrown to waste? You'll continue this journey to build on this portfolio so that you can pass it on and on again, to build the legacy growth that doesn't waste all your time building it up this lifetime. Would it be worth it? Yeah, I had 2 choices. One is to really go as slow as possible so that I can reach as many people as I can. Alternatively, is to actually have a high investment so that I can focus on a few people, smaller group, and I can focus more time. Okay, you can really see it is a great value at 47,000. Yeah, and this is the exciting part. Your investment is 2 full days, live in person, the component well worth over 47,000. And because you show up here in this workshop, today, I'm going to give you a very special deal. Yeah, you don't have to invest $10,000s. You don't have to invest even $3,000. And this is one of the rare workshops that's, way undervalued now. It might not be this value in the future. But because you show up today, you're going to secure this just for 999. Okay, using a coupon code. Okay, team, can you drop the coupon code? Team, drop the coupon code for them. So because you show up, you want to change your future, and because that, with all this SSD, VSD, whatsoever D, I really, really think it is so important to have the skill set to begin your journey, to continue your journey. I want to give it, as affordable as possible. It's 2 days of my time, my team's time, the venue and things like that. And that's almost like 97% of the normal price that you will pay for a consultant to take you through this. Yeah, so you take action quickly, okay? Because I really want to help many of you gain financial freedom in a time like this. How many of you feel that in property investment, it is better to get a partner aligned in this journey? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to give you one more, because you are so engaging. This is awesome group, you're all engaging. You're actually talking to me. This is physical in person, 2 days. Yeah, it is very well with it. 2 days in person. On top of that is live event. Yes. I'm going to give you another one. Fast action bonus. Who wants this? Provided you take action fast. All right. It will be sometime in October, so that you can have time to plan your holiday, plan your leave, everything. We give you time to plan. Do you want a fast action bonus only for 7 of you. All right, you get ready, okay? All right. I'm going to give you a fast action bonus for just 7 people. I am going to pay your partner's ticket. Okay, if you click the link, put in the coupon code or special, you can bring a guest. I'm going to pay for your partner's ticket. Okay, for now, I can do it only for 7 people. So you want to take action, okay? How many of you are parents? How about equipping your children with a skill set for a lifetime? Would you want to potentially start designing a legacy with your children, especially if they understand the investment concept early in life? And bring your wife, bring your husband, because in property investment, it is good to be aligned on interests so that you can do action fast. Chances of those taking action is because they bring their husband, they bring their wife, so that they can take action faster. Yeah, and because they understand the concept. Chances are, if you talk to them who have never come in for this session even, they wouldn't even want to do it because they're not familiar. So you want to bring them to the session. You want to bring your children. I have students who bought ticket for his sister and his parents because he's single, his sister is single, he want to do this with his family. And I have a parent who bought for himself, his wife, and he bought for 3 children. Because one is like 19, one is 21, and one is 15. He want to get them ready. I have a parent who brought his 12 years old. I have a parent who brought his 16 years old, he's 18 years old. I have a parent who brought his 20 over years old. We have family who come because they want to grow this together, because they know that it's going to be tough for their children. They know that if they can get everybody aligned early in life. Yeah. So are you ready to own your high margin property deals immediately so that you can accelerate wealth faster? So would you like to be part of this vibrant, goal-driven community? And then you live energized and supported every day. Yeah, for those of you who want to step into a safe, proven system so that you can confidently secure every move. Because you have this group of people that you can hang out with. Do you want actual data-driven tools? Personalized roadmap so that you can get informed, you can get, measurable investment decisions. Yeah, if this is one of you, if you want this, click on the link. Yeah, the team has given you. Put in special, log in your 999, claim your spot now. And for the first 7, I have students who are single who came for the session. Because now life expectancy is longer. Can you imagine you retire at 65 and the average age to live on is 85. You have 20 years to live on. What if your money, your investment cannot take care of you until then? Yeah. What if, you can come to the session, you can build on your portfolio, and you can continue until 65 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old. You can take care of your own retirement and not look for the government for help because you can take care of yourself. Then when you're gone, you can actually pass it on to your next of kin, or to charity, to your church, to your temple, to your charity organization to support other people. Awesome, awesome. Congratulations for those who have done it. Yeah. So the number one mistake that people have is they can do it themselves. Chances are most of you will probably afraid to take action. So sometimes I wonder if you can just invest in a couple $100 and avoid painful $1 million mistake with the right community, with the right support. Either way, you have to pay, right? You have to pay through figuring out through your times, or you figure out by just investing. Yeah. So remember, you can potentially get the 30% upside the day you found one, not the day you sell. Okay? And it's 2 days of your time for a lifetime of investment journey. Yeah, so you're going to get all this validated frameworks, calculator, to prove every step, okay? So you can see it's well worth. Okay, let me bring you, I know some of you have challenged, bring to the page. I'm going to take you there. Okay, you're going to see this page. For those of you who still haven't taken action, you don't want to miss it all because we only have that number of seats. Okay, once we fill up, we also will close it. Okay, so you put in your email address, your phone number. Okay, I'm going to take you through step by step into the pages. And then you're going to click submit. Okay, go to step 2. And when you're on step 2, This is where you key in the coupon code or special. Apply. And that takes you $3,000 off. You only have to pay 999 and you save $3,000. Okay? The team will inform you whether you're one of the 7, okay? Because I don't get to see the back end now. Okay, congratulations for those who have taken action. My question is, if not now, then when? If you all have realized, now with SSD, now it's 4 years, those who have taken action earlier than you and came for the session, bought their property, they will have saved 1 year to flip and sell the properties. Because you only come in today. Yeah, and because the new law just came in yesterday, it started today. Yeah. However, it doesn't mean the end of the world because it's 4 years. It's okay. As long as you can figure out the property that can give you an upside of a certain level, okay, assuming it's en bloc, but you make substantial gain. I don't mind paying the SSD for the 3rd or 4th year because I make a substantial gain. If I can exit and make substantial share, I also don't mind flipping for another property because I have the chance to make money. Okay, Linda, you raise your hand. I think there are some questions at the back end. I'm going to answer questions now. If you guys have questions, go ahead. Put in the Q&A, put in the chat so that I can answer your question. So I think some of you are asking whether you're the first 7. My team will reach out to you at the back end to inform you whether you're one of those. Yeah, I know some of you have waited until this portion of this webinar. I did not forget. We still have a bit more to go. Okay. However, I just want to share this. Okay. If you are still until here at this part of the webinar workshop, I didn't forget you. I will still give you a free gift whether or not you sign up. For only those who stay until now, remember at the beginning I mentioned I'll give you the process and guide, the booklet. Yes, you'll get it within about 48 hours. My team will send it to you latest by Monday. You'll get this free gift from us. For those of you, and that's not the same one that you're getting at the workshop, okay? You're going to get the actual list of properties in detail during the workshop, okay? All right. So congratulations. We'll inform you of the, we'll actually send you an email, WhatsApp, so that you can actually fill in your guest details for us. All right. Because we want to log in all the seats. Once we log in all the seats, we will close the application already because we can only take on so many. We want more personalized journey as well. Okay. The question that I have for you is, okay, before we, okay, any questions on the sign in? Okay. Go ahead and ask questions. You have a question on the sign in. So you want to take action and only limited seats because we're giving away this guest seat for now. Don't wait for the next batch. Okay, really don't wait for the next batch because we only have that limited seats. And yes, join and lock in the value here because we don't know how long we'll offer this 999 because to be honest, with all the expenses ongoing, it doesn't cover the cost. It doesn't cover all the cost of us, creating all this for you. So you want to log in this offer first, okay? Will there be any group chat to join? We will send you, okay? We'll send you all the back end, okay, at the back so that you have all the information at the back. Our team will send you all the back end. Congratulations for being the top 7. Yes, you can qualify the ring guest. The cost is tentatively planned for October. We just had our last one. It'll be October so that we give you ample time to block your leave. Yeah. So we already have, seats taken. All right. So you want to block your seats first. You lock in your price first. Yeah. We don't know how long we'll offer this offer. Yeah. It might be a time that we'll change it because, in the market, you have to pay tens of thousands to attend a 2 or 3 days course. Yeah. Sometimes even 4 figures. This is only 3 figure of your, yeah. And let me just recap for those of you who missed it earlier. All right. It's actually a 2 days full training. So weekends, you are not only getting en bloc. We're going to show you a latest, yeah, only in this workshop. You're getting, in fact, you're the first batch who's going to get this special deal. We're going to show you this AI tool. Okay, we built for you only to find undervalued properties. You're going to get this training by our co-trainer who specialized in reconfigure, restructure properties so that you know how to reconfigure new properties or your own properties or your portfolio for investment so that you can increase income for your property and increase value. Okay. like just I mentioned, Mr. and Mrs. Yu, they increase their value by 3 million. We have also students who join us, actually increase value for their properties, for investment and also rental. Okay. And you're going to get this, okay, I'm going to give you a special bonus. Okay. I wasn't going to disclose this today, but since you're here with me today, shall I give you another bonus? Do you want this special bonus? Give me a yes in the chat if you want the bonus. Okay. For those of you who are coming for this 2 days program, you are going to get an online training. Yeah, an online bonus training to find that 30% upside property. Okay, additional to the 2 days training. I wasn't going to disclose this today. I decided, yeah, at my executive decision, my team doesn't know this. Yeah, I'm going to give this to you if you sign up. Yeah, before the end of this webinar workshop. All right. So I'll give you the additional bonus training, which is, you can see it's not in my slide. Yeah. So this is given to you if you sign up. That will take you, we're going to clear your hurdle in your investing journey so that you can really take action faster, so that you're rest assured that this is a journey you want to be on quickly. Because can you imagine, you wouldn't know when another cooling measure will come in to stop you from taking action. You want to be one of those who build wealth first. All right, you don't want to miss it again. I have so many friends in my life. They say, Stella, had I follow your journey and started in my 20s, I would have done a lot more by now. But I'm in my 50s now. Then I can do this journey, and I'm also running late. Yeah, so you want to come quickly, okay? Congratulations. All right. So I let me just recap. 2 days live in-person training. We're going to get the calculator. You're going to get the cash flow domination action plan. You're going to get the roadmap creation journey. You're going to get the booklet of the list of properties. You're going to get the calculator. You're going to get the investment community. You're going to get a bonus training that I just offered to you. You're going to get an AI. It's not here also. The AI is new. It's not even in this slide. Yeah, I'm just disclosing it much earlier ahead of time. I'm just giving to you guys because you decide to take action today. Okay? And total value well worth above 50,000 by the time I add on all these AI or all those things that I just mentioned. Yeah. And because today you're going to take action, it's 999. Team, give them the last link for the last time. Okay. And for the last time, okay, if you take action with this link before we even close the session, I will give you a bonus partner. Okay, I'll pay for the ticket for the second person. This is my final bonus for this session. Okay, all right. Okay. So the number one mistake is people say I can do this. Chances are you will say, okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay. And for those of you who really want to know the numbers, people who have taken action, like for me, Ocean Apartments, the first one, cash on cash return alone, easily 80%, 200%. 336 River Valley, easily 200%. Okay, there's a lady asking about her guest list. Can you help them? Okay, so cost versus value, 999 versus millions of dollars of income growth. Is that value or cost? It doesn't even pay for a ticket, a holiday to Japan. Seriously, do you want to change your life to be able to travel to Antarctica? Pay 6-figure. Japan, holidays every year with your family, with yourself, for yourself. Either way, you have to pay, You either pay through figuring out your own, or you invest a 999 to shorten your learning curve. And at the end of the day, I really, really want to ask you this question. If not now, then when? There are going to be more regulations, more whatever things happening in the market. You can only take care of yourself. The earlier, the better, which means you got more chance, especially when age creep up. You're going to increase age soon. It's already half a year. Next year is another year. You're going to lose another year. But if you can figure out how to leverage early in life, that's going to make a whole lot of difference. Okay? Money is just a resource. If the money invested here can help you gain multiple times, repeat and rinse and retire, that's going to make a whole lot of difference to your entire family. Yeah? So information doesn't create any change. Yeah, I hope I've given you value in tonight and you expand how you look at property. And I hope Some of you are going to tell me months from now, years from now, that this is that pivotal moment of your life that changes how you look at real estate and how you took action. Because what happened if you don't say yes? Nothing happened. You attended a class, you attended something, there's something you heard about, not sure if it works. However, if you have taken action, you can give yourself a chance, okay? So go ahead, take action before we close the session. All right, let me answer question. Okay, wait, Jin Dong, Jin, sorry if I pronounce it wrongly, okay? Go ahead. The team will inform you. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll make sure we take care of you. We don't leave anyone behind if you have taken action. All right, my team is well aware that you have taken action. It's all in recording, so you'll be taken care of. Yeah, congratulations for those who have taken action. Yeah, the best time to invest in property was yesterday. Exactly. So you'll be informed, all right? Okay. So congratulations. It's on weekend. It's 2 days. We made it weekend so that all of you can take time off. We give you some time to block your leave. So it's in October. So you have some time to plan out your schedule. Don't wait for the next time because you never know whether there's a next time. All right? That's the truth of things. You never know whether there's a next. So you want to bring your family, you want to bring your children. If you want to bring extra people, talk to the team. Let the team know that you want to bring your family. All right? If you want to bring more than your one guest, if you want to bring more, your children, your family, your siblings, talk to the team. Okay, there is a WhatsApp number that has contacted you guys. You text them if you want to bring more people. All right? My team will look after you. We'll lock in some seats for you. Okay, my rental is not even near 10K. Yeah, we rented the rooms. We talk about we'll talk about co-living. We'll talk about other types of investing and other ways of adjusting your portfolio to increase valuation. All right. So all in the class. There's only so much we can cover in 90 minutes. All right. Even the apartment that you saw that we reconfigure from a $3,000 to a $10,000, that was only 1206 square feet, a small apartment. Yeah. So you can do a lot more. And you don't need a big apartment to do the same. All right. Let me see. What other questions? Awesome. Cool. So can you see now that you waited for one more day, today, a new cooling measure has taken place. Yeah, I call it a cooling measure because it's a form of cooling measure. And before we go off, let me just answer some questions. What is the impact of the seller stamp duty yesterday? Yeah. Since you're still here, I'm just going to give you additional training. Is it okay? Did I give you additional training? All right. Is it okay? Okay. Because it is a four years SSD, what it means is if you are somebody who actually invested for new launches, it's going to impact on new launches directly. What it means is because typically new launches, the TOP period is about 3 years from the year you buy. So it's actually curbing the flipping and selling of new launches. So what it means is if you're buying into new launches, typically in 2 to 3 years, you can flip. Today, you can't. You have to pay higher SSD if you make profit. The government is happy to take more profit. More money rather when you sell. What it means is also holding longer period. So it will slow down the flip and sell for new launches from the TOP stage. Yeah, that will impact on new launches directly. Okay. However, if you're taking a resale property journey, even with en bloc journey, chances are you're not going to be impacted as much because typically for their strategy, we are not a get rich fast solution journey over here. We are a mid to long-term journey and a safe journey. So if you are in this part of the journey, you want to play it safe, you want a longer term journey, you want to be able to flip and sell and grow your income over time in your lifetime, this is the place to build legacy. So this is our journey. Yeah, then you'll be able to disregard the 4 years SSD. All right. So for the last time the team has dropped the link, go ahead and take action. I look forward to seeing you guys. And if you, it means the latest cooling measure It does impact if you sell within 4 years. Okay, still 3 years, then can sell. 4 years. You can sell anytime. The truth is you can sell anytime. However, you pay extra tax. 16, 12, 8, 4. You still pay tax. What it means is it has more direct impact for new launches because typically people who buy new launches, they are waiting for the flip and sell strategy within TOP time. TOP typically the hit a higher sales price in terms of profit. That's usually the tradition, the trends. TOP time usually is the highest point, then it will start to taper. So by having 4 years, it will cool off the new launches. Yeah, at TOP. You got it? Yeah, exactly. Whereas for resale, right, is entry point. Resale, you already enter cheap, much cheaper than new launch. So as long as you enter with a calculated number and you know that there is potential upside for yourself, okay, when you enter cheap, when you enter with potential upside, you have time to stretch it. Yeah, anyway, you bought it cheap. So you have more wavelength. So in that sense, you don't have to rush to sell because we are mid to long-term strategy. And in the event assuming you go for en bloc and you have to sell it, chances are you have a substantial gain. If not, you're also taken care of by the law because you can't sell with financial loss. So that is a part of the additional training that I love to give you. Okay, is it good? Yeah. So you learn a lot more during the 2 days because we have time. We can dive deep. You can ask questions. I'll be able to take you through. All right. Okay, congratulations for those who have taken action. I see you there at the event. Yeah, thank you. Good night. And have a great weekend. Yes, property is not for speculation. Don't listen to those who just flip every 3 years. It's about 3 to 5 years, a comfortable range. All right. So the last time, take the link before we close the session. Take the link, take the code, so that even when we close it, you can still have it on the tab and quickly take action. Okay. All right. Good night for now. Thank you. Good night.